You hear that? He stopped. You can learn a lot from a stupid little animal like a hamster. You can it's too bright. You can even see yourself in it. A little creature like a hamster. At least I can. This hamster, he's got his own sort of. I don't confine him just to. He's got a hamster cage, which is it's reasonably big. It's not like horribly confining, but I made a kind of a larger cardboard enclosure for him, and I used to call him Mr. Hamster because, I don't know, it just seems silly to give a name to a hamster. It's a hamster. I got the hamster after my bunny rabbit died. Chance. Because I wanted I'd had this other life in the studio with me at night, and the absence of that life, it just aside from the sadness, it was unnerving. And I don't know, just on a whim, one Sunday afternoon, I went down to the E-Mart and I bought a hamster. All right, so I don't know. I just wanted another life in the room. It's hard to explain, but I'm not going to give it a name. It's just a hamster, Well, now he's got a name. His name is Monkey. Because actually he inherited Chance's cardboard. Rabbits like to have their own little lair, and when Chance came into the studio at nights, he needed his own enclosed space. So I've got this desk over my left shoulder here where I keep my Linux computer, and it's a good sized desk. I don't know, it's like a meter wide by maybe 70 centimeters And I just built this enclosure out of cardboard boxes for him, and I didn't have the heart to throw it away. And so I got this stupid hamster, and I put the hamster in the hamster cage into the cardboard enclosure. And then after a while, I was like, well, might as well just let him out and run around the cardboard enclosure. Well, turns out he's a real escape artist, and those things, they can jump way farther than you'd think they could, and they can climb way better than you'd think they could. And he's found all kinds of ways out of that thing. I've reinforced it. He's chewed holes in the corners, and I reinforced them, and made the walls taller. And he'll actually like chew off strips of the inside of the cardboard, so to reveal the corrugated layer inside. And it's like he makes ladders that he can scale. And I'll get it all, like, I'll outsmart him, and it'll last for about, I don't know, a few days, and I always keep the door closed just in case he gets out. And it'll go like 4 or 5 days, and then I'll open the door, and then he's just running around the room. And earlier tonight, I left the door open and was puttering around the house, and I look around. There he is, man. He's running down the hall, runs into the living room, and I grabbed a towel to go try to catch him, and he darts under the refrigerator. Long story short, I finally corralled him back into the room and caught him, and it was like, he's just an animal. He doesn't know any different. But I see myself in that. Not so much nowadays, but in the past, just like restlessness, senseless restlessness, inability to appreciate where I am and what I have. And here I am. I'm like I'm several feet above the ground, and I know something about the world. This little mind, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know the dangers that are out there. He's just always trying to get out. It's like I could probably turn this entire room into a corral for him, and he'd still be trying to gnaw his way out. And he gets out and doesn't know what to do with himself, and ends up hiding under the refrigerator. And I gotta flush him out with a broom handle and throw a blanket on him and hope I don't crush him. Anyway. Just makes me think all the times that I've berated myself for having such a small world that I live in. And really berated myself, man. Gone through just long periods of anguish and torment over, I don't know, my failure to be things that I'm not. Whether I could have been had I applied myself or not is kind of irrelevant. It's like I maybe one thing that sucks about getting older is like getting a frozen shoulder and you know, I mean, some things suck about it, but other things like perspective and I don't know. I guess I'm becoming less hamster-like. Acquiring and owning the power of gratitude. Gratitude. You know? And it's a powerful thing, gratitude. Anyway, Eldritch death cult theater. This is one area that I've, okay, as an artist, as a musician, you hear him. He can't get out of it. He can't get out of there right now. So he's furiously running on that wheel. He's climbed up on top of his cage. His cage has like this plastic dome on the top, but he gets up there. I don't know how he gets it. I don't know how he gets up on top of it, but he does. And then he's eyeballing the top of the cardboard wall. He's already made like a dozen attempts to leap and get like just one claw into the top of that cardboard wall. He'll figure it out, man. He's relentless. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. I'm not a very good instrumentalist at all. At all. And maybe it is for lack of trying. Like I'm not a soloist. I can compose solos like on a guitar, and then I have to play them over and over and over and over and over, practice them over and over and over again. Improvising, forget about it. I mean, I guess if I put in the work. But there's just, I don't know, man. I don't have that, I just don't have that drive that, I don't have the hunger in me, I guess, to be like a shit hot guitar player. Improvisational and technical and it's like I don't have any excuses not to at least be trying to do that. I mean, Lord knows I've got enough time on my hands. I don't work, long days and long weeks the way that a lot of people do. But I'm inveterately unmotivated to sit down and just work on it. Work on that skill, develop that skill. There's just something in me that doesn't want to do the work. And there's something even like deeper that I don't totally understand. Maybe subconsciously somehow that just, maybe it's not correct to say it won't let me do it. There's just an inertia within me that, but at the same time, many times over the years, so many times I've felt not ashamed is not the right word. Maybe inadequate, and just like, why am I so clumsy on instruments? And then I feel bad for not like working at it to become more technically proficient. Beat myself up about that, feel worse about it. And this is, of course, the times when I'm actively playing and writing and recording, and it's been years where I haven't done any of it because I was too drunk or just, either drunk or recovering from being drunk. It becomes a point where you're just always drunk. You can't do anything creative. You just can't. But, sometimes it's like you think in sort of like normal, linear, pragmatic terms. You think, well, if you want to achieve more mastery, more technical prowess, if you want to be able to do things that you can't, then you just got to sit down and, yes, do the work. Sit down, apply yourself, discipline yourself. At least be disciplined about setting aside time to play. Get yourself in that sandbox for a certain amount of time every day. You got to have some structure. You can't just. Or are there other ways? There are other ways. There are other ways. In my early days in Korea, one of the ways that I learned some Korean grammar and vocabulary and other things was back in the days when I was like trying to be a literary poet. And I used to, just one thing led to another through people that I knew when I first came here. I met university affiliated people, literary people, and I would translate Korean poetry, and I read some Korean poets. I'd study Korean poets, especially ones that would write short poems, simple short poems, and my favorite one in those days was this guy. I think he had died before I ever even came here back in '96. But his name was Chun Sang-byung. That was his poet name, Chun Sang-byung. I don't know what his real name was. That was his pen name. One more time, Chun Sang-byung. And his most famous poem was called Qui Chun, which translates to like back to heaven, back to heaven. And I think it was the last line in that poem that I'll never forget. And it just like stuck with me instantly, and I never forgot it. I like the way it sounds. I like the way it seems to have like some kind of amuletic power to it, almost like a mantra. And I've held it close to me all these years. It sounds like this. 언제나 어디에나 있다. 언제나 어디에나 있다. 언제나 어디에나 있다. 언제나 always. 어디에나 everywhere. I'm sorry. 길이. That's yeah, I shortened it. I've used it as a kind of mantra, and I shortened it that way. The full line is 길이, 길이, 언제나 어디에나 있다. 언제나 어디에나 있다. I like the 언제나 어디에나 있다 because it's 9 syllables, and I like the number 9. It's my favorite number. And it's 3 words. 언제나 어디에나 있다. 언제나 어디에나 있다. 언제나 is always. 길이 is okay. 길 can mean road, street. It can mean path, or it can mean way. Way, more broadly, more abstractly. It can mean way. And I think I'll put it in the stream description. You can go plug it into a translator. Kiri, the way. Away, the way, it's ambiguous. 언제나, always. 어디에나, everywhere. 있다. It's there. It exists. Like the 있다. The most literal translation is exist. It exists. The way is always and everywhere. The way always and everywhere is. There's no perfect way to translate it, but it's the idea. This is not to say that anything goes. No, that's not what it means. Wherever you are, whenever you are, there's a way. There's the way. The Tao. So, it's like I got this thing that I call the philosophy of arithmetic. And I don't ever remember seeing this in anybody else's writing or interview, or I think it's my own. I don't think I got it from anywhere. But it goes something like this. Anything I can think of, any situation that I can think of in this life, in this world, on this planet, without exception, I can't think of an exception. Every situation involves one or more of 4 basic operations. addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. I don't really have to unpack it, do I? Yeah. You're sweeping the floor. What's that? You take the dust in the dustpan and you dump it in the garbage can. What is that? You're cooking. You're chopping onions. What is that? You're reducing a broth to make a sauce. There's more than one operation going on at the same time. Often, you portion the food onto plates, you serve it to your guests or your loved ones. What is that? And it's very easy to find examples for addition and subtraction and division, but what about multiplication? What is multiplication? Multiplication is the realm of magic. Addition, subtraction, and division are in the realm of pragmatism and linearity. Multiplication is in the realm of nonlinearity and magic. Multiplication is the doorway to exponents and fractals. So it's like if you look at life in this world through the lens of the arithmetic of life. Where is multiplication? How do you do that? It exists in the financial world. The wizards are all about multiplication. And there are wizards. Is it really any coincidence that J.K. Rowling was like richer than the Queen was? Yeah. There's a parallel civilization of wizards. You better believe it. They're all about the multiplication, man. What is it called? Compound interest? Just fractional reserve banking, man. It's all sorcery. Yeah, you're not getting up there, but you're not getting up that way. Nope. I thought of that, dude. I thought of that. Nope. Yep. He's going to keep trying. Doesn't know what's good for him. I mean, look, in like if how do you say it? If he was the size of me, his enclosure would be a basketball court. Easily, like a high school basketball auditorium. He's not happy. Anyway, multiplication. It's like, oh, if I sit down and I practice scales and I practice licks and I study tabs and that's like, well, it'll accumulate, right? I'll decide how much to do every day. That's division. And then over time, my efforts will accumulate. That's addition. And I guess, maybe there's some kind of like logarithmic effect where like the more you do, the more quickly you begin to learn, but it's still like additive. But multiplication. This is the realm of magic. Sorcery is magic practiced for the education and glorification of the self and its base interests, and to manipulate others in one's own interests. That's sorcery. That's a dangerous. You don't want to go there ever, man. But magic. There's magic everywhere all the time. 어디에나 있다. Magic. And I don't want to use the Korean word for magic because it's not, the Korean word is masul, but it's not right. It's not the right meaning. It's everywhere, man. But it takes a receptiveness. It takes a very yielding and receptive attitude to do multiplication. Just let the numbers do the work. You set the conditions. It's very Taoistic. Strike like water and evaporate. Just tip the first domino without anybody having any idea how it happened or got started. Walk away. So see, sitting down and with some things, sitting down and doing it the good old-fashioned way is just not my way. For some reason, that's the case with music. It's like it I suppose maybe it it sucks the mystery out of it somehow. I don't know. It sounds like I'm making excuses. Maybe I am, but some of my most favorite things I've ever done musically were unintentional. I just wasn't trying at all. I'm not talking about lyrics right now. I'm talking about music. I work very hard on lyrics. I've got lyrics that I've been working on for years and years and years. And I sometimes I have to put them away. Sometimes for years, I put them away for years, and then I find them again. And it's like that. I remember why I put that away. And I still don't know what to do with it. Sometimes they more or less come. But that's the exception. But music, playing, soloing on guitar, just being able to like improvise on a guitar, man. It's like there's a part of my ego that really wants to be able to do that. For other people to look at me and say, "Oh, you should see that guy. You should see that guy play guitar, man." It's like I want to be that guy. I want other people to see me that way. It's an ego thing, man. It's an ego thing. I'll probably never be rid of it. But I don't know. It's kind of like I see it, I recognize it, I know what it is, I understand it, and so that way it doesn't particularly bother me. But it's there anyway. Long meandering run around to why the title? Why this? What is the title again? Eldritch Death Cult Theater. Well, goes something like this. So, I find myself like, that thing comes nagging at me again. Yeah, man, why don't you apply yourself? You could be a much better player. Instead of just getting by. You're a hack. You're a hack. I am. I'm a hack. I freely admit it. I'm a hack. And I guess maybe there's some part of me that likes being a hack. Or senses that there's something to being a hack. When probably there isn't. Just a hack is a hack. But anyway, it's kind of like it's gnawing at me a little bit. And so my response is to meditate on it, which simply means just to observe it. Just observe it as a mental phenomenon. Where's it coming from? What's it doing here? How does it develop? How does it and how and to what extent does it instigate emotional responses in the mind and in the body? Just watching it like a phenomenon, like any other phenomenon. And watching the thoughts about it. Because that watcher that just observes, see, that's where heaven is. That's where peace is. Just that pure observing consciousness. It doesn't push, doesn't pull, doesn't judge, doesn't praise, doesn't condemn. Just observes. And in that meditative state of mind, there comes a kind of unfocusing of the mind's eye, and then and somewhat of the bodily eyes, vision as well. They kind of go hand in hand, and so I was I guess getting into a state. It's associated with certain brain waves. You know, like people in white coats study this shit. They try to quantify it and they try to understand it. It's kind of like you get into kind of a non-linear associational realm of smeared associations, and it's a kind of a blurriness. Distinctions somewhat smudge and smear and dissolve, and things overlap. And I'd been trying to figure out some like craft projects I could do with the kids that come over to my place to learn English. And I was looking at I just use I don't go out and buy supplies. I use recyclables, you know? And I'm looking at some of these materials. In particular, I'm looking at an egg crate, you know? And suddenly I'm looking at this egg crate. It's a black egg crate. Most of them are brownish, yellowish. This one's black, you know? And I'm looking at it in this meditative state, and suddenly I saw it as something else completely, entirely different from what it literally is. And then the words just appeared like clouds in the sky. And the words were Death Cult Theater. Death Cult Theater. Oh, that's interesting. Where'd that come from? Don't know. No idea. It's just there. Just there. And then suddenly I just see a vision. I see an album cover, and it's called Death Cult Theater. And then I start to hear music. And I'm still in meditative state. I'm not pushing things away. I'm not clinging to things. I'm just watching mental phenomena unfold and evolve and dissipate, come and go like weather. And I still got that nagging critic. It's still nagging at me. And then all this kind of like comes together, and I'm hearing this music, and I realize that. And the thought comes, where are the words? There are no words. And then it occurs to me, this is not music for words. There are no words. This is instrumental. Yeah, this is instrumental. And so there it is. The concept for an album is born. Out of what? I don't know. I watched it come. It just appeared, just right there. There it is. And then and I know in times like this, like yeah, you know, like the inner critics can like they can start to sneer, and it's like, what, you're gonna make an instrumental album, you of all people, you're gonna make an instrumental album. Yeah, good luck with that, you know. It's like that would have to be just like the ultimate exercise in self-indulgence, because you know. But whatever. I'm not listening to that. It's just, I've learned. Just observe it. Just, yeah, you know. It's kind of like that saying, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Take the same attitude to those inner critic voices. Yeah, okay. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. It has no bearing on this moment. It has no bearing whatsoever on the function of this moment. And the function of this moment is to wait until the sun has gone down and set the scene and take some photos. And then do some multiplication. What is that? In this case, this is my version of what some people refer to as a sigil, spelled S-I-G-I-L. And no, like I'm not big into magic and magical ritual. I'm not. But a sigil is a thing that I will do from time to time. If you look into how it's done, the way that I do it is, it's in keeping with the spirit of how it's supposed to be done. It's basically the same idea. I make an image with intention, with an intentionality. I make an image and I put it away, and I don't try to forget about it. I just let myself forget about it. I make it and I set it aside and I proceed. And it's like planting a seed in the soil of your mind, of the universe. Maybe you drop a dead fish in there next to the seed and you cover it up. Make sure it's in a place where it'll get water and sunlight. And then just go on about your business. I hesitated to add the word Eldritch. I weighed that for a good 15 or 20 minutes. And then I decided that, you see, man, it's like adjectives are tricky. Adjectives are tricky, you know? You better really know what the fuck you're doing when you add an adjective to a title like that. It's not something to be done without mastery of intention. Eldritch Death Cult Theater. Eldritch Death Cult Theater. Seven syllables. I counted it wrong. Thought it was 8. It'd be better if it was 8 syllables. 4 words. The word for in Chinese and Sino-Korean and Sino-Japanese is a homonym with the word death for death. In Sino-Korean, it's sa. Il, I, sam, sa. Sa also means jukum, death. Eldritch Death Cult Theater. The 4 and the 8, that makes a tesseract. And if you know anything about Eldritch associations, wizards, you know something about the tesseract. Anyway. Eldritch Death Cult Theater. So, I thought I'd sit down and make the sigil in a live stream. That's my dad. Hey, Dad. I'll have to call him after I finish this. So, you know, here I go. I'm going to make my sigil. And at some point, I'm going to end up with an instrumental album. And I don't, that's all I know. So here goes. First thing I'm doing, I'm not going to put it on the screen, but I took the photos with my phone. I emailed them to myself. So now I'm pulling up the email to download them. And I took 3. I'm going to use 2. Gmail splash screen. There's no dark mode. Is there a dark mode? I can't stand big blaring white screens at night. It's horrible. God knows what kind of mind control entrainment there is in it. Yeah, I don't see any. There's no option for a dark screen in Google. They're wizards. Okay, anyway. Just get in there and get out. God, this bright. All right, inbox. Oh, that's not the right one. There we go. There we go. So I'm going to download these photos. And then I'm going to load them into, I don't have Photoshop anymore, so I'm going to load them into the GIMP, the GNU image manipulation program. The GIMP. I'm going to make an album cover. I decided, I've heard CDs are coming back. They're making a comeback. So going to design the CD insert and the cover insert and then the back tray insert. The images for them, anyway. It's a nice break from actually doing music. All right, I downloaded those now, and so I'll start the GIMP. Dummy. I prop his cage door open. And because he's spazzing out, he knocks it closed. Then he can't even get out of his cage. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to try this. Blending mode. There we go. Screen. All right. And I'll just move the chat down out of the way. Okay. I don't really know. I used to know Photoshop really well, but I have to poke my way around the GIMP. I'm still not fluent in the GIMP. But I'm in no hurry here. This is meant to be. Sigil making should be enjoyable. Meditative and enjoyable, you know. Open. All right, so downloads. It's my download folder. Admin, downloads, and EDCT for Eldritch Death Cult Theater. Can I open all three? Open. Original. Oh, EXIF. Orientation metadata. Original rotated. Yeah, rotate it. Open. What's it doing? Oh. Okay, whatever. Okay. 116.4 megabytes. I went with top maximum resolution. Okay. There it is. Whoops. Bink. There we go. All right. So I need to crop it. First thing I need to do is crop it. So there's the Eldritch Death Cult Theater. I don't know, man, how to crop that. It's like there's a bunch of different ways to crop it. That's why I did maximum resolution, you know. What are the dimensions of a CD cover? I forgot. Let me look. Ah! What are the dimensions in millimeters of a CD cover insert? (120 by 120 millimeters), or 4.7 inches by 4.7 inches. Seven plus 4 is 11. 4. That's the number of death. 4. Ah! Eldritch Death Cult Theater. 4 words. 7 syllables. I'm doing it 4.7 inches. Of course. 4.7 inches. See how this works? 4.7 inches. Okay. Back to the GIMP. And let's see. Crop. Where's crop? There's crop. All right. And let me see. Pixels. Height. Okay, height. Height, width, size. Aspect ratio. 16.9. No. Fixed. We got position, size. Let me see. Hang on. Inches. Inches. Okay. Inches, 4.7. Fixed aspect ratio. It should be. All right, whatever. Size. Inch. This is ridiculous. So confusing. What do I do? Position? That doesn't make sense. Oh, here. Okay. 100 by 100, but I want inches. Okay, whatever. Let's try this. 4.7 by 4.7 inches. And all right, I guess I got to draw my well, that's not right. 16.9. Oh. All right. 1 to 1. Yeah. Okay. 4.7. There we go. So, there we go. That's right. Can move that around. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm just intuition is telling me this. Undo. It's also telling me to do this. It's better. Yeah, it's better. All right. Text. Text tool. Color picker. Wait a minute. Is that the color picker? Yeah, okay. I click it again. Gotta click it every time. Click and pick. Current. No, it's too dark. Okay. Okay. All right. What now? Do I just type? Ah, okay. Way too big. 251. That's big, okay. I don't like the blocks around the letters in 44, 44, or maybe 47, 47. It's too small though, eh? No, it's not necessarily too small. Now, font. U Gothic bold. What does Eldritch mean? It's a Lovecraftian sort of word. Gothic. Gothic has a resonance with Eldritch. But it's modern looking, you know. Where's the orientation? How do I get it right? Left. Not centered. I want it left. Left there. Left justification. All right. And letter spacing is at 39. $47. And bold. There's bold. There's it's already U Gothic bold. Bold. It's already bold. Gothic. There's no pull down menu. Size 47 pixels. Size 251 pixels. 2 plus 5 plus 1 is 8. Font. Oh, there we go. U Gothic UI bold. UI. Looks the same. U Gothic bold. U Gothic UI bold. Why isn't it the same here and here? Do I have to type the name in? A little taller. Tool options. You'd think if I change it over here, it would automatically change. See if any other font names jump out. Lucida. Interesting. Lucida console. Isn't that weird? Maybe, how do I, okay. Boom. Maybe. Doesn't change it. What does this mean? Malgun Gothic. Doesn't change. Nothing changes. God. Gabriola. Constantia Italic. It doesn't change it. Man, that's just not the way shit should work. Just not the way it should work, man. I shouldn't have to type in the font name to change it. And this should have a pull down. But this is just my mind. Opinions, you know. Okay. Fine. It's gonna be Gothic. It's gonna be U Gothic bold. U Gothic bold. Yeah. That's it. And whoops. Okay. Let's zoom out. Okay. Oops. Move tool. There we go. No. Fucking undo that. Undo move layer. All right. That's fucking ridiculous. I want to move the fucking text. Sorry. I click on the text. I click on the text layer. I click on the move tool. Move layers, selections, and other objects. I got the move tool. I've got the text layer. And it moves the fucking background. Okay. This doesn't do any good to swear. You know, it doesn't. It really doesn't. But it's just, some stuff is just so stupid. It's so stupid. Here's my select tool. And I'm going to select that. And now I click on my move tool. Now can I move it? No. Can I shift drag? Oh, okay. Well. All right. I guess I got to use the shift button. Now I want to deselect. Can I deselect? Thank you. All right. I want to get rid of these. I just want that black right there and there and there. Black. Is there a clone stamp tool in the GIMP? Is that the clone stamp tool? That's the clone tool. Okay. All right. And now the title. $74. Justify right. Right justify. And why is this not in tool options now? Oh, it's not in tool options now. It was in tool options before. And then now it's not. Justify, there it is. Okay. And color. it's retarded, man. Okay. All right. Now there must be a way to do an outer glow. Oh, Eldritch has a T. Man, so stupid. Ah, God, it's so stupid. Man, what a stupid, stupid program. I thought it'd gotten a lot better. It hasn't. It's as stupid as it always was. I'm pretty sure that's the right spelling. Eldritch with a T. Let me see. Nope. Well, yeah, let's try this. I'm going to try centering it. You know what? Yeah, let me see here. Let's take this to 47. And over here, forty-seven. Font size 47. Letter spacing 47. Font size. Yeah, font size 47. Letter spacing 47. This looks smaller for some reason. 47. You Gothic Bold 47. You Gothic Bold 47. Must be an optical illusion. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Left justify. And oops, okay. shift. Okay, move tool and shift and okay. So weird. Okay. Now, no. Now, let's see. Right click and edit text on canvas. Edit layer attributes. There must be a way to. There must be a way to do a outer glow. Outer glow. Hey Mozart, I didn't see there. Well, I was proficient in I hope you're still there. I was so absorbed in this, I didn't check the chat. No, I have been a meme lord. Quite proficient in Photoshop. This is the GIMP. I got so disgusted with Adobe. I just didn't want to pay their mandatory monthly rental fee for Photoshop anymore. So this is a GIMP, and yeah. Okay, so what is this? This here is a sigil. You know what a sigil is? I spent the better part of 45 minutes doing a meandering preamble. This is a sigil. This is a CD insert, cover insert. And the title is Eldritch Death Cult Theater. And the thing that I would know instinctively, immediately in Photoshop is how to do, an edge glow, an outer glow. There'd be several options in Photoshop. There'd be like stroke edges. There'd be outer glow. And I just don't know where to go in GIMP for that. Do I have to go under filters? I tried right-clicking on the text layer, and I've been looking at the context menu to see if there's anything. But if you guys, here, let me go ahead and put the chat up here so I can see it better. Yeah. Well, Mozart, if you went away, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ignore you, man. You're still there. Okay. Well, but Mozart, I kind of have to do it myself. It's a sigil. And you should be aware of that, by the way. I mean, you might want to run away from this. This is a little bit of white magic. I'm not an occultist. This is just like deep psychology, and It's life. It's a multiplicative operation. Anyway, but shorthand, you could call it magic. I just want to provide a little bit of outer glow for the. I don't want to make like a block to set the text inside of. This is the way I want it. I just want a tinge of white glow so that the word theater will be legible against this dark patch of pixels in the table. And if I can figure out how to do that, then I'm done. And I can't imagine that it's a complicated series of steps here. There must be somewhere in the menu. Let me see if I can, hang on. All right. All right. Yeah, Nako, do you know GIMP? The GNU image manipulation program? The poor man's Photoshop? It shouldn't be anything that complicated. It should just be, it's just a text layer effect. That's all it is. And if I can't figure it out, I appreciate you guys. You're very kind. Your kindness, I appreciate it. But this is just about, it's just a sigil. It's just something to do and set aside and not think about too much. And I'm fine leaving it just like this. And then if it manifests later on, then, you know, there's the artist, there's the title, there's the image. And now I want to do the back as well. So the back is so I'm going to save this as hang on a second. Bum, 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 bum. It's fixed. All right. Okay. Well, what the hell did I do? Undo. All right. Yeah, Nico, but I don't have Photoshop anymore because I refuse to feed the gaping asshole maw of Adobe. And it's not doing it anymore. If this is Photoshop, I would have been done 15 minutes ago. Yeah. This is probably something really well. Here's what I can do. Why I'm still living in the past. Okay, what are the dimensions in millimeters of a CD cover? CD back. Insert. 151 by 118. I'll just go 4.7 by 4.7 again. And how do I How do I make text glow in GIMP? How to add glow effect to text or objects in GIMP? GIMP glow effect. I gotta watch YouTube. 3 minutes.
Hello, for today's tutorial we're looking at how to create a glow effect in GIMP. I'm going to be glowing some text, but you could glow any object like this. So the first thing I want to do is set the background to black, or any darker colour, just so we can see the glow even more. And to do that I'm going to go over here to the colour selector, choose black, somewhere else to deselect that. That looks good, but for the sake of neatness I want it in the centre of the page. The text tool, click that, and I'm just going to type in glow. I'm going to click somewhere else to deselect that. That looks so. Next, to select it, that layer of the sets the settings for your. Now that's pretty good. If you want to glow. So right now it's the next thing we're going to do is go to filters, blur, and Gaussian blur.
Of all the things.
When you press that, you get this box where you can choose the settings for your blur. So right now it's at 1.5 pixels by 1.5. I'm going to make that a bit bigger and you can see the text starts to glow.
Can you believe that shit?
That's good. I think 5.5 looks good for this one. We'll press OK. Now that's pretty good.
I gotta use Gaussian fucking blur. But that can't be right, man. That's not going to work for black text on. I want a white glow on the around the black text. Emboss. Well, I don't know where emboss is with. If I could find the emboss menu, I could. I just don't know where the menu is in GIMP. Mode. All right. All right. The purpose has been served, I think. That's just dumb.
In today's video, I will teach you how to add a glow effect in GIMP. Let's get started. Select Layers. The default location of the Layers panel is going to be at the bottom right side of the editor. Now we're going to use a selection tool. With this, we're going to select the area where you would like to apply the glow effect on. Once the selection is made, go to the menu bar, go to Select, and Feather. Now, input a radius value to soften the transition between the glow and the original image. Commonly, a radius of 10 to 20 pixels is a good starting point. Now, generate a new layer by going to the bottom of the Layers panel and click the Create New Layer option. In the dialog box, make sure to set Transparency as the fill type. With the selection still active, choose the Bucket Fill tool or simply use the shortcut key Shift-B. Now, pick a color for the glow and fill the selected area on the new layer. Now, adjust the blend mode of the new layer by going to the Layers panel and selecting either Screen or Addition. This blending mode intensifies the luminosity, enhancing the glow effect. If the glow appears...
Well, that's GIMP for you. Okay, Nicholas. All right. That was a lot of steps for a text glow. That's just, I mean, I know GIMP is not Photoshop, but that's pretty crazy. Okay, I've got one more I've got one more image to make, and then maybe, I don't know, if you can find something easier than that, then great. If not, I'm just going to be done with it. So this is just dreamlining. Okay, export. Edit. Oh. All right. All right. Save. And I thought I already opened. The image, but you found something already? All right, hang on. Be right with you, Nico. There. That's the back. That's the back image. I don't even need any words for it. That's it. All right. All right, what do you got? You got, okay, in Discord? Okay. Oh, God. Happy Pride Month. It's only one of the 7 deadly sins. Okay. Well, talk to me in Discord. You could get into... You could go into my, if you, oh, you're probably already gone. All right. That's it. Yeah, I'm supposed to. I mean, Some nights I just can't. Tomorrow's a holiday, and the long-suffering missus is going out with friends, and I don't have any money right now, so I'm just going to be lollygagging at home all day anyway. I might get a nap in. It's what? Oh, it's already after 1. I don't know. I'm just not feeling sleep tonight. So, I might do a mixing session. Continue with my Pride Month special. Really? I thought tomorrow's a national holiday. A red day. I try not to be nosy, so I haven't asked you your line of work, but okay. I did ask you how long you've been here, and I don't think you answered me, but good for you. Good for you. Global sales. Do you mind my asking, even in vague terms, like, what are you selling? 5 years, that's a good long time. What are you selling? Okay. Well, it's a lot better than being an English teacher. But I take it you don't work for a Korean company then, because if it was a Korean company, you'd have the day off. Well, it's not too bad. If you want, you can jump into the conspiracy channel. Although I think I'm just about done here. I just want to try one thing. Let me see. There. And no. What's not too bad? Meow meow. Okay. Here's another thing that just doesn't make any sense is okay. Oh. And yeah. Try it for a number of years. Yeah. The This kind of circles back to what I was talking about for like the first 45 minutes of the stream a bit. It's another, it's actually, I was talking about how, it's kind of a painful hang up, I guess. Is that I'm such a poor musician in terms of playing instruments. I'm really limited. But that's another one, is being an English teacher. It's like, that's a deep, it's a deep one. It's not respectable, put it that way. Nah, I'm going with black, and yeah, I'm leaving it like that. Save. Okay. The magical thing to say is, so mote it be. But I just prefer to say, Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Done. Yeah, I think you're a kind person, and that's a decent, kind and decent thing to say. But Koreans look at foreign English teachers as being losers. It's like, you must be a loser if you come to Korea. Like, you couldn't make it in your own society, so you came here. That's the way they look at you. It's a bit of a stigma. And it's something that, but, ultimately that's something that I allow myself to do to myself. You know what I mean? But at least, like, I've got my own business, and there's room for creativity in it. We're making bird feeders, and we're making shakers, and we make stuff. Today we watched an old episode of Sesame Street from 1982. That was fun. Different running your own business versus working at a, yeah. Well, the worst is like the hog ones, the after school academies. I mean, I've done everything. I've done the university, and done a lot of different things. Whoops. And it's like everything has things that suck. Make the best of it. But I do kind of dream of, told the missus, when we get too old to do this teaching thing, I really just want to I want to get one of those big bongo trucks, you know, the ones that you have to watch out for when you're driving, because those guys don't give a fuck. They just, you know, the big blue trucks, right? I'm going to get one of those and just like, you know, put a speaker on top with the tape loop and just sell, you know, drive around, sell apples or melons or, I don't know. Just do something ordinary. I think I would enjoy that. Our old neighborhood, we lived in a neighborhood called Mokdong before we came up here. It's a big, how do you say, a very competitive area for Hagwon's education. And in that neighborhood, in our neighborhood, there was this old man in his 70s, and he rented out a little storefront. And all he did was sell apples. He'd show up in the morning, and the delivery truck would come and drop off his apples. He'd open up the boxes, and people would come and buy his apples, and he'd be done by like lunch. Sell his apples and close up his store. I don't know. Go do whatever he did. It's like, yeah, I could see that. Hey man, thank you. Yeah, well, it's very kind. And you're right. But you know, I think it's part of being human. Some things, you know, you just hang-ups that hurt, you know. And plus, you know, like getting into I'm 53 now, and it's like I'm not going back to America. Like, what would I do back in America? I'd probably, you know, just I probably wouldn't even be able to rent a room. I don't have any credit history. You know? It's like it's like at some level it requires it's kind of a cliche. Leap of faith is kind of a cliche. It's kind of grandiose. It's more like, okay, you're a poet, right? So was it Keats who coined, was it Keats or Shelley who coined the phrase negative capability? You call it. Was it Keats or Shelley? It was one of the two. Nothing, yeah. 20 years old. Wow. I want to hear your story. So it must mean you're just in your mid-20s now, huh? When I say just, I don't mean that in a dismissive sort of way at all. Keats. Was it Keats, really? Because I would have called Shelley. Let's look it up. Although you're closer to the splendor in the grass than I am. So you're probably right. You know you're right, don't you? All right. Which romantic poet coined the phrase negative capability? Gee. And I don't get an AI answer. Answer with AI. Keats. Of course you were right. The capacity of artists to pursue ideals of beauty, perfection, and sublimity, even when it leads them into intellectual confusion and uncertainty, as opposed to a preference for philosophical certainty over artistic beauty. I extend that concept into life at large. There comes a point, I'm going to finish saying this before I read what you just wrote. That I find as I get older that the lines between, art and life, the lines become less and less meaningful and significant. It's like it all begins to run together, if that makes any sense. And this concept, I suppose I apply it. It's like, here I go into my, and it's a sort of age where it really, it's no longer just a notion that it could it could just happen any day, and it could happen to her any day, and and you got to reconcile. It's one thing to reconcile with all that when you're in your own land, your own around. You'll always be an outsider here. Doesn't matter how fluently you speak the language. You could even get citizenship. You'll always be an outsider. And when I was younger, it was like, yeah, it was just an idea. It was a concept. It was a notion. Now it's like, no, it's real. And this is the bed that I've made, Okay, what have you been saying? I live by myself in Olympia, Washington. And during COVID, my apartment building got ransacked during protests, and that's when I decided to bail from the U.S. And you and I can have some interesting conversations. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So did you become proficient in the language? My kung fu teacher was a Korea University professor at the time when you went there, teaching in the English department. Pretty sure he was still 5 years ago. Yeah, he was still working there. Used by poets, philosophers, and literary theorists to describe the ability to perceive and recognize truths beyond the reach of what Keats called consecutive reasoning. Linear thought, yeah. That's what I've been doing tonight, Semi-proficient, okay. Do you have to use it in your job? Okay. All right. Well, Zane might have been retired by then. I'm not sure. It's either been like 2 or 3 years he's been retired. Oh, I see. Okay, I brought up negative capability. We've got this poetry thing that we can riff on. I brought up negative capability. It's your turn. Throw something out. Liminal space. I associate that with like architecture for some reason. Is that from poetry? And where did the term originate? A place or state of transition or change, characterized by ambiguity, disorientation, and uncertainty. Yeah. Art, literature, psychology. Nostalgia, unease, surrealness. Internet aesthetics, not interested really. But doesn't it have an architectural... Isn't it discussed in architecture? All right. Well, it's definitely related to negative capability. You know? Here, I'll read one of my favorite 20th century poems. Actually, I'm gonna look it up off screen, and then pull it up. You ready? Does YouTube do copyright strikes on poems? Summary and analysis. No, I want the actual poem. There it is. I like different poets and different kinds of poetry for different reasons. For like sheer like richness of language, the milk and honey and whiskey of the English language is like Hopkins, Gerard Manley Hopkins, you know. But this poem is like, this is the way I like to write songs sometimes. The way this poem is written. I'll give you a hint. Are you ready? Insurance executive. The hint is insurance executive. You can hazard a guess. That's a hint for the poet. Insurance executive. I'll wait. I'll give you the first 2 lines. The first 2 lines are, nope. I thought Arthur Miller was a playwright. Okay, the first 2 lines are, this is interesting. You didn't get it, the first hint. So here's the first 2 lines. Ready? The houses are haunted by white nightgowns. That's going to give it away, I'm sure. Are you Googling it? You can't Google it. Don't Google it. If the second hint wasn't enough, that old guy? Which old guy? All right. The houses are haunted by white nightgowns. None are green, or purple with green rings, or green with yellow rings, or yellow with blue rings. None of them are strange, with socks of lace and beaded cinctures. I forgot how to pronounce the word. People are not going to dream of baboons and periwinkles. Only here and there, an old sailor, drunk and asleep in his boots, catches tigers in red weather. And Mozart Meow Meow has to buy a trash bag. My favorite 20th century poet is not a literary poet, though. So you're out and about? Are you out? Are you out in a medjum buying a trash bag? You know what, Mozart? I mean, I know trash bags are essential, man. So, if you got to go, I totally understand. But I'm in the mood for some poetry, and some of it actually has music. So if you're still there and you want to hear it, I'll sing you a poem. It's been so many years since I discussed poetry with somebody. Well, that's not quite true. Because the other guy that learns Wing Chun from Zane is a Yonsei University professor, I think comparative lit. and he's also a poet. And the last time I discussed poetry was with him. He's an old guy like me. He's a good poet. All right, Mozart, I'm on standby. well, maybe that trash bag transaction took on a life of its own. Let me see. Well, I'll wait a little bit longer, see if I hear back from you again. I'm not going to sing a poem for nobody. I'll read another poem for nobody. Yeah, I still get goosebumps every time I read this. It's been years since I read it, and I still get goosebumps. In a stable of boats I lie still, from all sleeping children hidden. The leap of a fish from its shadow makes the whole lake instantly tremble. With my foot on the water, I feel the moon outside take on the utmost of its power. I rise and go out through the boats. I set my broad soul upon silver, on the skin of the sky, on the moonlight, stepping outward from earth onto water, in quest of the miracle. This village of children believed that I could perform as I dived for one who had sunk from my sight. I saw his cropped haircut go under. I leaped, and my steep body flashed once in the sun. Dark drew all the light from my eyes. Like a man who explores his death by the pull of his slow-moving shoulders, I hung head down in the cold, wide-eyed, contained, and alone among the weeds. And my fingertips turned into stone from clutching immovable blackness. Time after time, I leaped upward, exploding in breath, and fell back from the change in the children's faces at my defeat. Beneath them, I swam to the boathouse with only my life in my arms, to wait for the lake to shine back at the risen moon with such power that my steps on the light of the ripples might be sustained. Beneath me is nothing but brightness, like the ghost of a snowfield in summer. As I move toward the center of the lake, which is also the center of the moon, I am thinking of how I may be the savior of one who has already died in my care. The dark trees fade from around me. The moon's dust hovers together. I call softly out, and the child's voice answers through blinding water. Patiently, slowly, he rises, dilating to break the surface of stone with his forehead. He is one I do not remember having ever seen in his life. The ground I stand on is trembling upon his smile. I wash the black mud from my hands. On a light given off by the grave, I kneel in the quick of the moon at the heart of a distant forest and hold in my arms a child of water, water, water. Man, that's something. Well, it's getting on 2.5 hours. And I think that's about long enough. The poet's name was Wallace Stevens. And the title of the poem was The Disillusionment of 10 o'clock. I guess I'll be back on momentarily to do a little mixing session. Back to the Pride Month special. Thanks guys for stopping by. And thank you, Mozart, for the kind and encouraging words. I'll catch up with you again. I suspect sooner than later. Lean Bear, over and out.